I'll also be recording today's session, so that can be provided to you at the end of the session today. And we'll also have it posted on our website as well. So again, my name is Kevin Jackson. I'm a technical solutions consultant with Help Systems, working with the InterMapper product as well. So I'll be your presenter today. And before I go forward, I would like to introduce a few polling questions that I want to kind of get out to the audience. And the first question is from a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the most kind of important, how important it is network visibility to your day-to-day operation. And second question is, do you currently have a monitoring mapping solution in place as we speak? So we'll kind of keep that those polling questions open for about a minute or so, and then we'll get started. So you guys get to see my my pretty face there for a little bit. All right. So going forward, as an IT professional, our job really is to ensure that we have, the proper technology in place, pretty much to perform miracles for our users. But for us, we need to make sure that we're constantly watching and monitoring the systems that we are tasked to monitor. So again, it's very important to have that functionality and visibility in place. I'm just going to close the poll. So our agenda today is, we'll talk about monitoring network performance. We'll look at some important performance baselines, things that can assist you with overall network performance monitoring. We'll talk through how, we feel mapping and monitoring solution can help with the lack of network visibility and provide, some insights and also talk about some attributes in terms of looking for software that can provide you with that kind of value. So in essence, network performance challenges are increasing, as a result of the size, complexity, mobility, and just overall modernization of network functions. So it's important to have the right tool or the right solution in place, to be able to tackle some of these challenges. So today, I'll be talking a little bit about some of those things to consider when monitoring performance, and also the importance of network visibility on overall network operation, and some of the potential impact if you're not currently set up for this or prepared for this. So again, really, there really isn't any industry standards for monitoring metrics, for monitoring specific metrics. So the best place is to work with your vendors to determine what their protocols are, what their device supports, and what is the best way to capture that data. So in terms of network performance, baselines, very important. First and foremost, you want the ability to collect data, to have an inventory of your devices, know what's running on your network. A lot of time, we come upon devices that we have never seen before, or we have no idea where they are or where they come from. Having that understanding, can be the difference between, some kind of a hub, causing collisions and bottlenecks on your network. So again, you want to have that full device inventory of your network. And then, again, identify what devices are important to your network operations. What is the core infrastructure? What is the most important devices that I need to be monitoring, I need to be keeping an eye on, and what can I get from those devices? Kind of leads into the next one. What metrics to monitor? And then once you've figured it out, once you realize what you need to monitor effectively, now you can start monitoring and tracking those behaviors. And then once you start tracking the behaviors, it kind of leads into the last performance baseline, where you establish what you consider an optimal performance of your devices. So are my devices performing at an optimal level? If they're not, then I want to make sure that I get them to that situation. So again, my environment is performing the way I want it to. So some challenges of lack of network visibility, I kind of was looking at Information Week, and they provided these stats, and these stats are really interesting. And again, you know, IT is considered a cost center. You know, we are a cost center, and one of the things that we don't want to do is we don't want to cost our organization more money than they're already kind of shelling out to provide us with that capabilities and ability. So these figures was kind of interesting to me, where, you know, the cost for IT downtime and how it affects, you know, on a global scale. I mean, if you look at it, $42,000 an hour, the cost for downtime. I mean, that's a huge number. So I think they said something to the effect that the overall cost, global cost for IT downtime at one point kind of eclipsed like $23 billion or something like that. So again, these are some pretty interesting metrics where you can see how impactful, you know, downtime is to your organization. And I'm not sure where they came up with this calculation, but this is an interesting calculation where you can kind of calculate lost revenue. So if you take these components, you know, you can kind of run this and do this as a test for yourself. You take these components and then you identify what these components are: the growth, yearly revenue, total yearly business hours, percentage of impact, number of hours that, you know, had an outage. You can almost calculate how much money that an outage in your environment can cost your business. And then you can kind of take a step back and say, hey, listen, do I want this to continue? Do I want this to keep happening? This might be the difference between me keeping my job or whatever the case may be. So again, some interesting, not sure how relevant it is to a day-to-day, but it's an interesting metrics and an interesting equation that you can kind of take and play with and see if it's something that, you know, that you can identify with. And on the right here, there's just a few of those large institutions that have experienced various outages, and you can see some of the financial impact on some of those outages. So the next few slides, you know, I just wanted to kind of show some brand failures. And, you know, again, technology is very fickle, and it can happen to the best of us. But visibility and preparation can save your job and the company money. So again, I just want to start by saying, if anyone works for the following or anyone in these companies or knows somebody who does or even uses their products, I apologize. I don't want to make it seem like I'm picking on them, because I am. But again, you know, you take a company like Amazon, who've experienced a kind of a system-wide outage on their cloud environment, you know, because of some kind of data store that they probably should have been monitoring, should have been having some visibility into that data storage. You can see the monumental impact in terms of the financial the financial situation there. And it's not just the finances, it's also a hurt on the brand. You know, the brand itself, it's a black eye on the brand. RIM, RIM, I think everyone knows about what happened to RIM. RIM, they had a core switch failure. Now, again, having visibility, having a network mapping solution or some kind of solution that you can see these devices and see the behavior of these devices at a glance can, again, be the difference between, you know, a minimal outage and a catastrophic failure. So, again, if they were really kind of watching and monitoring this core switch, you know, I'll be remiss to think that they do not have, or they did not have, some kind of redundancy built in. But again, if they weren't monitoring this core switch to the best of its capabilities and ability, you know, then that's a bigger inherent issue. So this cost them millions of dollars because it was a 24-hour outage, and it resulted in a lot of lost revenue and also another black eye on a wireless provider that at the time was competing with the likes of Apple. So again, not a very good look on the part of RIM. Navitaire is a kind of a subsidiary of Virgin, and what they are is they're Virgin Blue's reservation management company. So they take the reservations and they enter it into their system. So they book all their reservations through that particular company. Now, again, they had a hardware failure, suffered a hardware failure, an extended hardware failure. So they were down for a substantial amount of time. And as you can see here, the amount of money that it cost them in terms of compensation. So they had to pay $20 million in compensation back to Virgin Blue for the outage. So if you think about it, these guys are you know, a small company struggling, you know, are trying to make a name for themselves, trying to, you know, kind of do things and build their brand, and they suffer this particular outage. And again, it set them back a little bit, not just financially, but also, you know, Virgin Blue's faith in that product. Bloomberg, we all know Bloomberg. Bloomberg is a global, large global financial application company. And again, for Bloomberg, they're, you know, kind of battling with a lot of other, you know, players in their market. They had a combination of hardware, software failure, and, you know, again, Bloomberg has a lot of subscribers, so they weren't able to use those Bloomberg terminals during the outages. So, you know, traders had to call in their trades, and analysts had to call in their trades. So again, you know, it might not mean a lot at the time where, you know, traders, instead of hitting a button on their computer, had to make a phone call or dial somebody. But if you, in the grand scheme of things, you know, in a busy trading market, you know, the difference between, you know, making a trade in a second versus making a trade in a minute can be, you know, millions and millions of dollars. So again, subscribers were not very happy with this outage, you know, and again, this is an impact on the brand and their preparedness in terms of monitoring their back-end solutions. So these large institutions, obviously, you know, the impact to their operations are a lot much greater because they cover a much greater kind of client base. Now, if you're a smaller company and you know, you're trying to improve your brand and improve your growth and revenue, you can't afford an extended downtime. You can't afford these types of financial losses. So it's really important to have that network visibility and availability at your fingertips. So in terms of what we think, you know, are good attributes for network monitoring and network mapping to effectively have some really good performance metrics. First and foremost, leading into some of the performance baselines that I mentioned, you know, device discovery, performance monitoring. You want a solution that you can go out there and do your device discovery. You can do your auto discovery. You can bring devices into a dynamic map, so you can see these devices and see the behavior of these devices. So very important. And then you can also see how those devices are performing. That leads into the map display visual status of your information. So again, part of performance monitoring is also seeing the visual connection, seeing the, you know, the utilization, the traffic, just specific metrics that you can utilize to get a good understanding of how those devices are performing. And then using exception-based alerting and notifications to keep you informed. Simply put, you want to be alerted up to date. You know, as soon as something happens, as soon as there's an issue, you want to be alerted. You don't want delay in alerts. You don't want to be notified the next day or 2 hours later. You know, you want a product that's monitoring your devices real time, so when real-time issues happen, you get real-time alerts and real-time notifications. You know, so essentially, you know, you have a map that allows you to see specific devices and see specific device behaviors. You want something that can provide you with what we call, you know, statuses, so you can see different levels of you know, your devices entering different states. You know, so as you see your devices, as you're monitoring your devices, you can see your devices going into warning, alarm, you know, critical. So again, you can, you know, mitigate potential issues before it becomes to a critical situation. You know, you want to be able to see the traffic on your devices. You want to see what, you know, the utilization traffic and on specific links, on your core links. You know, and then again, you want to be able to set up specific alerts and notifications so you can, you know, be notified when these things have breached a threshold that you've set. So again, you know, overall visibility kind of will help you prepare and provide you, you know, with that proactivity, with that visibility at a glance over not just your corporate infrastructure, but if you are tasked with, you know, with looking at your entire organization as a whole, again, you need to have that full scope. You need to have that full visibility, and a network mapping solution can provide you with the ability, an overarching ability to see everything at a glance. So again, a nice feature, nice function, and something that can really be of added value and benefit to your day-to-day operation. So again, you can lay your map out and you can see all your devices. You can see all your if you have remote offices, or if you have business units, or if you have different floors with equipment that you're looking to monitor. You can see all these things at a glance. You can see the performance at a glance. You can visualize the connections and the links of your devices to see, you know, what's going on with that. So how the right solution can improve your efficiency and visibility. So again, you know, you want to empower a solution that can provide you with visibility. Key is visibility. And then once you have that visibility, is it providing you with accurate and up-to-date information? So again, real-time monitoring, visual mapping, leverage the right technology. Very important that, you know, although you have that map, is it leveraging the right technology? Is it providing you with the right information? Is it giving you what you need to effectively monitor your environment the way you need it to? So again, the live dynamic map gives you that overall visibility into what's going on. We also want to look at things like flow-based technology. It's not enough to just see how devices are behaving, but, you know, bandwidth utilization, bandwidth consumption has become even more of an important thing to monitor since, you know, now there's more things on the internet that folks are kind of tapping into, you know, streaming, downloading. If you're in the financial services, you know, folks are, you know, have Bloomberg TV or something like that streaming. So it's very important that you see where your bandwidth is being used and how it's being used and what applications are using that bandwidth. So in essence, you know, as an IT professional, you can use this information to make recommendations. You can use this information to justify whether you need to add upgrades to improve performance, or you can justify whether you need to throttle certain scenarios to, you know, because it's being overused. So flows-based technology is important to capture that information, the inbound, outbound traffic, the top talkers, top listeners, all good information, and provide you with a visual kind of representation of that information. So again, you know, you can take this to a supervisor, to a boss, and show them, have tangible results, tangible evidence that you can utilize to make your recommendations, to back up your assumptions and your recommendations. And then layer 2 mapping, you know, also it's very important to see and visualize the connections between devices. So you know, you want to see how devices are connected between each other as you move things around for troubleshooting purposes. You know, if you're trying to look up information, you're trying to see what endpoints are connected to what layer 2 switch. You want to see visually how your infrastructure, your organization is laid out. These things are important, so again, you have a really good understanding of the layout of your environment, and as you do, you know, go through moves, adds, and changes, you know, your map will reflect those connections changes as well. So, you know, the key is providing you with a logical layer 3 diagrams to see everything at a glance, and also having the ability to provide you with a logical layer 2 rendering of your organization as to how it's connected. So if we go to this next slide, on the right here, is an output of our InterMapper product and its flows product, where we can show you, our top talkers, top listeners. So we show you the top 25 talkers, and again, it's interactive, so you can drill into the pie chart here, the pie graph, and you can see exactly who's doing the top talking and how much bandwidth is being used. We show you what applications are using the bandwidth and how much bandwidth that application is using. You can drill into the spikes here. You can see point in time in terms of when that bandwidth is being used or overutilized. So you can really get some good information, some good background to make, kind of recommendation and determination of where you need to go from an organizational standpoint. Down in the bottom here, this is a logical layer 2 output diagram. So I can see that I have my main switch here, and these are the devices that's connected to my switch. InterMapper tells me what port on the switch those devices are connected to. So again, you can see the interconnects between the switch and the endpoints. And again, as you update your infrastructure and move things around, InterMapper will make that distinction and make those changes and update your map and show you those new connections as well. So again, we're trying to answer two questions here. We're trying to answer the need to provide you with performance at a glance so you can visually see what's going on with your infrastructure, and then we also need to provide you with the visual connections between devices. So performance and visualization between devices. So, again, why we think InterMapper is a great solution to provide you with these two key or answers to these two key questions is InterMapper itself is a product that is basically built on network visibility at a glance. Our kind of core competency, our strength, is providing you with the mapping functionality and capability so you can see things as they happen. Also, in terms of overreaching other parts of your organization and monitoring not just standard devices like your switches, routers, servers, et cetera, but also being able to monitor and see non-standard equipment as well. Being able to kind of monitor things like HVAC, UPSs, environmental sensors, door sensors, anything IP-based, anything that supports SNMP that you normally wouldn't kind of add as part of your monitoring scenario. We can add that as part of our outreach in terms of showing you visually and also monitoring it and bringing back, extrapolating information from those devices, giving you a good understanding of behaviors. So again, visibility first and foremost, being able to support non-standard equipment as well as standard equipment, providing you with the proactivity that you need to kind of eliminate the length of your downtime, being able to kind of mitigate potential risk before it becomes a business critical issue. Helps with forecasting IT budgets. So again, you can see how your devices are behaving. You can see if devices are having an imminent failure. So now you can make recommendations on upgrades. You can run devices side by side and monitor devices side by side to see how they're behaving. So a lot of good information there. Reduce a lot of costs of network management. The bottom line is, to mitigate potential downtime, potential issues, potential risk, you have to increase your network spending, right? You have to bring in specific devices and applications so to alleviate that kind of, potential issues. So, we want to provide you with the ability to kind of use a product that is cost-effective, rich with features, and powerful in terms of giving you an overall kind of view of what's going on. So you might not necessarily need those additional network management components and tools. And again, proactive approach, very easy to administer and provide you with that proactive capability. We put low cost, high rewards here. Again, we are competitively priced product, but again, we provide you with a lot of functionality and features that can essentially assist in your day-to-day operations. So again, in terms of what we're looking to solve is we're looking to solve those two major problems, right? We want to basically provide you, with performance at a glance, visualization, visibility, and then we also want to show you that we can provide you with the ability to see those interconnects, those connections between devices, to see how devices are kind of performing, what they're connected to, bandwidth between those devices, et cetera. So a lot of good information there. So some of our, kind of larger customers that's using the product, we have a very strong customer base, and again, what they like most about the product is the fact that we provide them with that network visibility and monitoring functionality. So we're not just a one-trick pony. We're not just a mapping solution. We are a monitoring solution, a very strong monitoring solution as well, with the ability to kind of outreach to a lot of various types of devices, not just the stuff that you have in your back room, but other devices as well. So at this time, I know I kind of sped through this, but on a high level, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick overview in terms of some of the things to kind of look at, think about in terms of overall performance monitoring and what we can do, help systems and the InterMapper product can do to help you in your day-to-day operations. So again, at this time, if there's any questions from the guests, I would love to take some questions. Any questions, folks? There was a study by Forrester Research done a few years ago. It showed that 25% of all critical IT issues takes longer than 24 hours to resolve because of lack of network visibility being the #1 culprit. So to me, I think that's a huge number. So that kind of proves without the proper tools and visibility to find an issue is like finding a needle in a haystack. So, again, when you look at the numbers and you look at the facts being reported on, network visibility is one of the most important things out there that IT professionals are always looking at and always complaining that they don't have enough of in terms of overall monitoring and overall operation. So again, as a product, as an InterMapper product, what we do is, and what we kind of focus on is providing you with that network visibility to assist you in your day-to-day so you don't have those catastrophic outages and extended outages. So I see a few questions here. What is the license structure for InterMapper? So how we license our product is we license our product per device. So as long as your device has an IP address, again, we are an IP-based product. We do not install agents on target machines. So pretty much whatever devices you're looking to monitor, that's how the product is licensed. Our Flows product is licensed per exporter, so we're not charging per interfaces like some of the other products. If you are monitoring a device that has 48 ports and you're exporting Flows traffic to all 48 ports on that device, we charge you for the one device. Any other questions? Good question. And also, for those of you who joined late, we will have a recording of today's webinar, so we'll be able to send you a copy of the recording after the presentation as well. Any other questions? By the way, the results of the polling question is I see that 23% feel that from a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most important, network visibility is the most is kind of important to their day-to-day. So 23% of you guys feel that it's pretty important, and it looks like about 23% do not currently have a monitoring management tool that can provide you with that visibility. So at this stage, I implore you to kind of take a look at our product, see how we can, better provide you with that overreach, that visibility. We have a free download on our website. We have a wonderful support staff that can help you through the process. If you do have the ability, please download the product, install it, get it up and running, and at least, get it installed and see what you discover. It might surprise you once you run that discovery to see what's running on your network. So, the ability to kind of have that outreach and that visibility, I think, is key and is important going forward. Any other questions, guys? Great. So thank you once again for joining me today. Again, as I mentioned, please take advantage of our free trial of the software on the website. If you have any questions, please send those questions to our support team. And again, thank you for joining me. I hope I was able to provide you with a little bit of insight of who we are and some of the things that can help you effectively kind of continue to monitor your network operations and do it the best you're able to do. So again, have a wonderful day. Take care.